To order. Welcome everyone in attendance. Today is Tuesday, May 27th. I'm Commissioner Sharon Bolos. I'm joined by Commissioner Gage Brewer.
Recording in progress.
Harvey. We will ask you to join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, after which Commissioner Frohr will give us our invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, Madam Chair, we all know yesterday was a very important day and honoring our veterans. And so I thought this morning would be appropriate time to have a moment of silence because we all have special connections with those that served and family members going back to just under 250 years. 1776 is when this all started. Over 1 million veterans have sacrificed for our freedom. And I think it's very important. A lot on Memorial Day, I think about my dad who served in the Merchant Marine. And a lot of people, you know, Merchant Marines don't get a lot of attention and credit. He actually, everybody's heard of West Point, back on the East Coast. Not too many people's heard of Kings Point. Kings Point was the place where Merchant Marines went to certify just like they do in West Point. He graduated from Kings Point, Merchant Marine, and he was actually in charge of making sure our troops had, Merchant Marines gave food and supplies, ammunition to the areas it needed, but they didn't have typically any guns or any, so they were escorted. So I think Merchant Marines are sometimes left out of the equation, but very important. But anyway, Madam Chair, I would just suggest we have a moment of silence. Let us all remember those important in our family that preceded us. And with that, I just ask for a short moment of silence. Thank you very much for indulging me in that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We'll go on to item D, Commissioner comments. Commissioner Harvey.
Just briefly, you know, and kind of piggybacking off of what you said, yeah, I've always been interested in Memorial Day, but it started as Decoration Day.
Correct.
Before that, and decoration, and a lot of people that are younger don't understand that. That's always just been a holiday for them, right? But Decoration Day was designed around, federal government instituted Decoration Day to honor those who have paid the ultimate sacrifice for freedom for our country. And I just, each year I think about Decoration Day first, and then with the privilege of having that time to be able to not just think about those who've paid that ultimate sacrifice, but then those who, in our family around to go. You know what's kind of funny is younger, I never wanted to go to those graves, and now I look forward to it. Just as it's a kind of a tender thought each year. My wife and I find great joy, and we use the whole weekend to do it, traveling around. It's been pretty good. So thank you for bringing that up. I didn't know about Kings Point. I haven't heard about that.
Not too many people have, but Decoration Day, yeah, that's how I grew up with called Decoration, and we'd jump in my grandpa's car and loaded with flowers. We'd hit a couple of the graveyards around, including Huntsville, and yeah, it was all decoration because we decorated the graves. Mm-hmm. That was what it was about.
Yeah, that's it.
And not, you know, a few people still remember that, but yeah.
Well, when you're as old, when you get to be as old as I am, you'll start remembering a few more
Don't talk to me
things.
about that.
There are a lot of great traditions. One of the ones that we had when I was a kid was my grandpa was a veteran of World War I, and he used to go and put the flags on the graves in the Ogden Cemetery and invite us to go with him. So I think those traditions are great to pass on to our children.
Really are. Great traditions.
All right, thank you, Commissioners. We'll move on to item E, agenda-related public comments. Comments will be taken for items that are listed on the agenda. No action can or will be taken. We ask you to limit your comments to 3 minutes. Is there anyone in the public who would like to come forward? Anyone online? Okay, we'll move to item F. Consent items. Number 1, request for approval of purchase orders in the amount of $1,282,547.33. Number 2, request for approval of warrants numbers 105122 through 105187 and 491072 through 491196 in the amount of $2,186,825.38. For a summary of warrants and purchase orders, Mr. Ricky Hatch.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We issued 13 purchase orders this week for $1.3 million. 80% of that amount, or $1 million, is for the ice sheet to go towards a new chiller, compressor, and security cameras, as well as VIP room remodels. 13%, or $169,000, is for the Golden Spike Event Center, and that will go towards security cameras. As far as checks, we issued 191 warrants this week for $2.2 million, spread across a whole bunch of different categories. 16%, or $357,000, is for our paramedic services, as well as a paramedic vehicle replacement. 11%, or $230,000, is our monthly contribution to Weber Human Services. 8%, or $183,000, was ramp awards given to the Boys and Girls Club, LUPEC, and the Eden Valley Trails. And then we had 4 items at 6%, or right around $130,000 each. One was our contribution to the Convention and Visitors Bureau. One was for the conference center remodel, as well as our payroll module and architect fees. One is for roads, to purchase a skid steer, and some road supplies. And then one is for dispatch for network and telecommunications services. The top 5 vendors, or people that we paid this week, was Weber Human Services at $235,000, Ogden City Corporation for $159,000, Ogden Weber Convention Visitors Bureau $133,000, Wheeler Machinery for $132,000, and Westnet Incorporated for $130,000.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Hatch?
None for me.
No, ma'am.
Thank you. Number 4, request for approval of minutes for the meeting held on May 20th, 2025. Number 5, request for approval of new business licenses. Number 6, request for approval of new beer licenses. Number 7, request for approval of a cancellation agreement by and between Weber County and West Haven City for the Corridor Preservation Project on Midland Drive. Number 8, request for approval of a local transportation funding agreement by and between Weber County and West Haven City to establish the amended terms related to the West Haven City 2700 West project. Number 9, request for approval of local transportation funding agreements by and between Weber County and the following cities to establish terms related to the projects listed: Ogden City, West 25th Street and D Avenue; Ogden City, 21st and Lincoln Avenue; Harrisville City, 750 West Phase 1; Pleasant View City, Alberta Drive Corridor Preservation; Pleasant View City, Skyline Drive Rail Crossing Corridor Preservation; Far West City, 1200 West Roundabout; Roy City, 4300 West Roundabout; Marriott Slaterville City, 1200 West Phase 2; West Haven City, 1800 South, 1900 West realignment. Any questions on any of those or comments? If not, I'm ready for a motion.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make that motion with a comment, please.
Please.
I'll make a motion that we approve those consent items as listed on our agenda today, F like Foxtrot 1 through and including 9, with a couple of comments. It's refreshing to me, as we have Mr. Smith and Mr. Ferrario from our Culture, Parks, and Recreation. No sooner did we finally receive the grant from the state with regards to updating our ice sheet, that much of that work is underway. And that, as you know, when you're doing any type of projects, takes a ton of time programming, and they've already had the subcontractors in there measuring and fitting and doing different things. And as we prepare for the World Cup of Curling in the first quarter of next year, it's just comforting to know that they'll be ahead of schedule, so we're not doing things last minute. And so I just appreciate their work. And also, you know, we read number 9 on our agenda that talks about those local funding transportations. We have Miss Brooke Flint Stewart, who is with us today. And while these just list a few things on one little agenda, there's so much that goes into the work behind these projects. And one, to just note that it will positively affect everyone, but the freeway interchange, as we all know it, off of 21st Street, that's limited with directions receiving or going to the south only, nothing from the north, will totally be reworked out there on I-15. A new entrance with a new opening into the crown jewel of Weber County City's Ogden, coming down off the freeway. And that whole interchange out there, you've seen big things already starting to occur with the removal of those big silos that were out there for many, many decades, and those coming down, and just so much happening out around there. It's a big project. It's been a little delayed because of being able to get around the railroad that's out there and that rail spur, but it's going to be a big thing. It is moving forward, and this will just help with the ease and friendliness and safety of being able to move people from I-15, that major corridor, right into Ogden City. So great work, Brooke, what you've done there, and with coordinating with all the cities and all the contractors and everything else. Just, I can't underscore enough how much we appreciate your service, and that just how much you've been able to multi-task and do different things in your coordination with those mayors and council. Thank you for what you've done. So that's my motion.
And I'm happy to second the motion and second the comments.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. I do want to thank Brooke as well. Several years ago, we started taking field trips on these projects. So as I read through that list, I remember being out at each of those sites and just seeing the need, and that's been very beneficial. So thanks for always setting that up. It's a hard afternoon or day, I guess, to organize. So item G, action items. Number 1, request for approval of a contract by and between Weber County and Runbeck Election Services for the printing and postage services related to election materials. Lauren Schaefer and or Ricky Hatch.
I put both of us.
We prefer you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm here to talk about our new printing and postage vendor, or our contract for your consideration. Through a competitive bid process, we've selected Runbeck Election Services to be our new printing and postage vendor for our ballots. We've had a great working relationship with our previous vendor, K&H, and have really appreciated their service, but Runbeck's proposal was too competitive for us to pass up. Runbeck is a nationally respected elections partner, and we're excited to work with them. The contract goes for 2 years with the option of 3 one-year extensions totaling to 5 years. Although this first year includes some setup costs, the overall pricing model, especially for printing and postage to our 131,000 voters, should lead to a lot of long-term savings. It's that part that's a lot cheaper than our current partner. And then they've just been really great to work with our Agilis system already, so we're just really excited to work with them and get this contract going, if that's all right.
That's great. Any questions for Ms. Schaefer?
No question, just a comment if I might, Madam
Please.
Chair. Just want to say thanks for keeping the best interest of the taxpayers of Weber County, making sure it was competitive bid, and anytime we can save dollars, it passes through to those citizens that pay the taxes to keep us in business. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
None. Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you. Item H, Commissioners.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion that we adjourn this meeting.
So early? Okay,
Yeah.
second.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. We're adjourned.